All right, Shalom. Start this lesson. Going to give all praise and all glory to Yahweh Bahashim, Shai Bahashim, Dash. Double honors our apostles, elders of great Milton, and taught us the truth. Peace and blessings to the sincere occupant of this pushing this truth. And all truth and sincerity around the four corners of the earth to lead to us. Shalom. Okay, it's your brother Yara Ariel from the Great Stone Miami Camp. Come back to the spare power of Yahweh Bahashim, Shai to make another lesson. Okay, this is a lesson that I wrote down in my notes. All right. Going into, the stubbornness of our people. Okay, and title of the lesson is going to be the stubbornness of our people is what's going to lead to their destruction. All right, Jake being stubborn and being sottish, all right, that's going to lead to their downfall. Okay, that's going to lead to their destruction because Jake don't want to, they don't want to forsake their ways, man. They just want to continue in their folly. They want to continue in their lust and you know their folly. All right, and they don't want to come back and turn and serve the Lord, man. Okay, and them, and them not doing that, they're gonna have the worst judgment to pay because y'all gonna have to die of famine. Okay, get judged. All right, that's what's gonna happen, man. Okay, y'all gonna have to get mowed down by Esau, get judged. All right, and it's all because of ignorance. It's all because Jake don't want to listen. It's all because they choose not to listen, and ultimately, it's because the Lord blinded their eyes not to listen. All right, you see now, the characteristics of Jake. What do they do? They call us names. All right, say certain things. Okay, we done grew up. All right, and we done grew up with some of those people. Some who could be friends, family members that didn't want to believe us. All right, and then mocked us, man. All right, but but there's a saying: "He who laughs last, laughs the best." Okay, and we gonna be having the last laugh, man. We gonna be the ones really having that, last laugh when all things, when when all hell breaks loose and everything that we've been talking about happens, man. All right, but I got a couple of precepts, just to further edify the point of showing you how, all right, the stubbornness of our people is going to lead to their destruction, man. It's going to lead to their downfall. All right, and this is Jeremiah 4 and verse 22, and it says, "For my people are foolish; they have not known me. They are sottish children." That's right, man. When you go to the word sottish, it means extremely stupid. Okay, very, not wanting to learn, man, not wanting to change, and you see that in Jake too. Jake, they don't want to change, man. They want to continue doing what they've been doing, eating their pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster. All right, they don't want to turn back and seek the Lord. They want to continue in their folly. Okay, but you got to understand that you can only be in folly for so long, man. All right, you can only partake in folly for so long, man. Lord is good. Lord is coming back, man. It's not too far fetched. Okay, and it says, and they are Sardis children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to the evil, but the good they have no knowledge, and that's right. Jake can tell you how to hit a lick. Jake can tell you how to rob a store. Okay, how to finesse. Okay, how to steal. Jake can give you knowledge about that, but when it comes to them changing their ways, and or when it comes to them, repenting and coming back to the Lord, all right, that's when they, that's when they want to pull back and be like, nah, I'm just doing my own thing, this, that, and the third, man. Okay, and that's gonna be okay, and that's gonna be, the downfall of our people because here it is, you had the prophet of the Lord telling you what was gonna happen before it happens, but all right, you don't want to see the Lord, man. All right, you don't want to turn back, and serve Yahweh Shimon Shai, in the time of the grace period, in the time where, you have the ability to, man. All right, that's when you're gonna know is that, and that's why Ezekiel 33 and 33 says that. Then shall you know a prophet shall be among that. That's when you're gonna realize that what we were saying was true. Okay, because and that's gonna be that's gonna be the best day for the man of the Lord because we're not gonna we're not gonna feel bad for Jake. All right, we're not gonna feel sorry for Jake that they getting put to death or they you start judging the man. All right, and and that's ultimately because when you had the opportunity to seek the Lord, what do you do, man? You pull away the shoulder, and that's what's good, and that's what's gonna lead to your destruction, man. All right, and it says Hosea 4 verse 6, and it says, "My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge because thou hast rejected knowledge." And you see that now. Jake just scoffing on a comment board, not wanting to hear. Well, y'all see, y'all always talking about that. All right, but that's that's going to lead them to their destruction, to their downfall. All right, and it says, "I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. See if thou hast forgotten the law of the Most High, I will also forget thy children." And that's right. Us as a people, we have always been a separate, peculiar people because the Lord gave us His laws, statutes, and commandments. All right, that's what makes us the chosen people of the Lord because the Lord had a set apart laws and statutes that we have to abide by. All right, that's why. All right, that's why these other nations they can they can do what they want and because laws and statutes were not given to them. Okay, laws and statutes were given to who? The Israelites. All right, but Jake done Jake done went and set up their own they set up their own thing, man. All right, this is so Zechariah 13 verse 8, and it says, "And it shall come to pass that in all demands, saith the Lord, two parts therein shall be cut off and die, the third part shall be left therein." Right, man, two-thirds out of the nation of Israel. Okay, when you're looking at a pie chart, two-thirds is approximately 66.7%. Okay, and that's a lot of Israelites that's gonna have to die, man. And the two-thirds and the one-third, are in America, but that is still a lot of Israelites there that are have to that are going to have to die on this side, man, because they are, they chose to, enjoy their riches, okay, live it up, enjoy America, enjoy Babylon, just because they done became successful, they didn't have money, they didn't forsook the Lord, all right, and you doing that is only just laying the snare for yourself, man. Okay, Lord give you over to your lust, just to destroy you, all right, and that's righteous because here it is, the grace period is open unto you. All right, and what do Jake do with it? They take it and they play with it. Our people are the biggest procrastinators, man. And we we know that because we have some certain type of aspects of procrastination. When you want to do something, beneficial for the Lord, and you like, now I'm gonna do it another day, or I'm gonna do this, and you just keep prolonging. That's just that's just a part of that. But you have to fight that shit, man. You got to fight that that spirit of being lazy and don't want to do the work. All right, but Jake, they just get overtaken by it, man. All right, now when all hell breaks loose, that's when Jake is gonna realize, oh yeah, what they were saying was right, but then it's gonna be too late. All right, the Lord already done warned you multiple times, man. The Lord is allowing Himself to be blameless, having His prophets out, okay, in season, okay, out of season, doing the work of the Lord, okay. And now when when the martial law come, when the famine come, the pestilence come, the Lord is blameless. You done had celebrities popped out say you Israelites turn back, all right, calling out Jake, but Jake don't want to listen, man, and that's why it's gonna be the downfall of y'all, man. Okay, y'all just gonna have to down inside, and that's rightfully so because if you were to allow these two-thirds and Jake to live, all right, it would just be continued wickedness and wickedness, man. They would never get it. All right, only the one-third and the elect are only gonna really turn back and seek the Lord, man. All right. But yeah, brothers, that wasn't a too long of a lesson. Okay, just just wanted to go into how, all right, the stubbornness of our people are going to be is going to be the stubbornness of our people is going to be the down, what's going to lead them to destruction, man. Okay, Jake being stubborn and sottish and don't want to turn back to the Lord, that's going to lead to the, to the destruction of it, man. All right, so Lord was lesson is edifying. Okay, with that, I do want to give all praise and all glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Kavadash. Double honor to our apostles and elders and great mills that taught us the truth, peace and blessings to the sincere Alchemists. With that, I do want to say,